Hello. So I'm live. Good morning from Brisbane. This is my first live, and I hope it's recording and everything is working to plan. I will keep an eye on the comments. So do ask me your questions and comments if you have any comments. And it doesn't matter if you are joining live or if you're watching the replay. I'm going to reply to everything. So I'm just going to take a look at the comments after this live and throughout the next 24 hours to make sure I catch everyone. So this is a really nice group because there are some friends that I know since many, many years, since when I lived in Frankfurt. Then some of my clients are here, which is always nice to see, and a few new faces. So to all the new faces, welcome. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better. I'm a transformational nutrition coach, and I'm showing women how to successfully lose weight for the last time. I'm working with clients worldwide, which sounds very big, but I literally have clients on all the continents, a lot of clients in Europe, and I'm currently in the process of moving back to Europe from Australia after having lived here for 2 years. So Happy New Year. I spent the last 2 weeks in Tasmania. I was actually, it was an amazing holiday, and it wasn't a bad holiday in terms of health because we moved a lot, we did a lot of amazing hikes, but we also had a lot of food because the Tasmanian food is just amazing. And then when you spend so much time on the fresh air, you get very hungry. And so I was very motivated by all the calories I burnt on the hikes. And I think I had a lot more calories after the hikes than I burned. So especially after the last few days in Hobart, the capital of Tasmania, where we just really indulged in tasting dinners and a lot of really nice alcohol, I'm feeling itchy to get back to my usual routine, especially alcohol. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about after the holidays. Affects your sleep, your mood, your weight. It's never good to overindulge. So it's back to healthy living and facing this new year, which is for me always like a fresh new journal. So all the pages are empty. It just looks like there's a lot of opportunity to make this a great year. It's very exciting, and I'm very eager, and I'm sure you are as well, to help it, to fill it with positive happenings. So making resolutions is not really the problem. I'm sure we all have loads of them. The problem is keeping them. So hopefully I can help you put them all into action. So that's with my 6 steps to get you started. So what I want you to do is take a piece of paper and whatever you have in your head, put it down on paper, unless you've already done that. And then look at that list. And if you see it's too many, then I promise you this is already a good sign for failure. Because if you just overwhelm yourself with just too many things, this is usually not going to work that well. So what I want you to do is prioritize and just check what has the biggest impact on your health. I'm just going to refresh the comments to see if anyone wants to comment. Feel free to say hello. I see there's some people are joined. So think about what has the biggest impact on your health and then put them in order of what has the biggest impact and what is the easiest to achieve, because it's always good to start with something simple, because then you have your first success, and success always motivates to keep going. And then I want you to put them in order. So eliminate what's too difficult and put them in the order of how you want to get through them and how important they are and how easy they are to achieve. And then in the last, I want you to look at them again and now be very specific. So think about each goal. What is it exactly? When do you want to start with this goal, or when do you want to work on this? Where is it happening? And how often is it happening? So for example, instead of being more active, say you want to work out every Thursday from 7 to 7:30 before work. So that's a very specific goal. Or instead of eating healthy, say you want to prepare a home cooked meal every evening of a work day. So then you know Monday to Friday, you're cooking a home cooked meal for dinner. So that's specific. So the next step is to create, as I call it, a rollout plan. So you now have your specific goals, and now you start with just one. So one good habit can lead to other good habits. So decide what to focus on first. So be it exercise, nutrition, sleep, mental well-being, whatever you want to focus on. And then you put this in your 12-month rollout plan. So decide what are you going to start with in January. So definitely start with something in January, because the best time to start is always now. So for example, you say you want to work out every Thursday morning from 7 to 7:30. So that's your goal now for January. You put that in there, and the only thing you focus on in January is that one goal. And then you put in your February planner your next goal. So this could be, maybe you want to focus on your sleep. So you want to go to bed at 10 p.m. at the latest. So then you've already done 4 weeks of working out every Thursday morning from 7 to 7:30. And now you're going to bed before 10 p.m. every night. And then you do this for another 4 weeks before you move on to your next goal, your March goal, which could be meal prepping every Sunday. So obviously this looks different for everyone. Everyone has different goals. And it doesn't need to be a January goal, a February goal, a March goal. Maybe you do something in January and you continue in February, and then you introduce a new goal only in March or later. So whatever works for you, where you think it is challenging you the right amount, so to not make it too easy, but it's not over challenging you so that you might give up because you can't achieve it. So that's then your 12-month plan. So the next step is then, in terms of your rollout plan, is to then zoom into the week. So you now want to think about your weekly schedule. So just look at what you're currently doing, and there's loads of things that we all do every day, from going to work or looking after the kids. Sleep blocks out a whole chunk of time. So you just have that in your weekly schedule, and now you just look for the slot that you allocated for the first goal, and you put that in your diary. So you create an event in your diary where you say Thursday morning from 7 to 7:30, if that's your goal, from 7 to 7:30, this is now blocked out for exercise. First of all, that means you get a reminder, ideally if you set the reminder on active. Secondly, nothing else can get in the way, because this time is now blocked out for your goal. If you're struggling and you can't decide how to create this plan, or you're just overwhelmed, then I want to invite you to book a free strategy call. I can then help you get clear on your goals, to map out the plan for you that you can then follow for the next 12 months. So step number 3. So that's identifying obstacles. So what's been getting in the way last year? So there is a reason for a resolution, and it might be that you just didn't get around to do this last year. So just look at your resolutions and look at what got in the way last year. So for example, maybe you already planned last year to work out more, but then you did it after, you wanted to do it after work, but you've always been too tired. So the solution might be that this year you're doing it before work, because you know after work it's just like meetings can get in the way, and just like it's a whole day of things that can potentially happen. So maybe before work is the better way to approach this. Or you didn't have enough time simply to cook from scratch. So the solution might be to meal prep, so that you always have something healthy in the fridge that you just have to warm up when you don't have enough time to cook a full meal. So just really think about this, zoom into each of your resolutions and goals, and think about what could potentially get in the way, so that you have a bulletproof plan. Of course, you can always get a coach who reminds you and motivates you to achieve your goals, even when you're not seeing any progress. And step number 4, I'm just trying to see how I can see who joined. Yeah, I'm definitely too inexperienced to to figure out who joined. So if I haven't recognized you, that's because I haven't seen who's joining. So step number 4 is to set up your environment to make it easier to create healthy habits. So what's your environment? Your environment is your home. It could be your desk at the office. It could be your car if you're someone who's traveling to work, or just being around in the car for a lot. So that's your environment. And it's important that your environment makes it easy for you to follow your goals and to achieve them. So for example, if you are planning to eat healthier, a good idea might be to order a veggie box. So I had that back in London from Able & Co. So they deliver once a week, and then here in Brisbane I'm using Farm Fresh. So they deliver a big box full of vegetables each week to my house. So I always have the fridge full of vegetables, and of course I'm going to cook with these vegetables. So that's setting up the environment for success. Fill your pantry with healthy food, set up your exercise space. If you decided to exercise in, as I said, maybe the spare bedroom, then make sure your yoga mat is already there, your weights are there, your bands, whatever you need. You put out your gym clothes the night before. Just make it as easy as possible so that there's just nothing that can keep you from pulling through with your goals. And then step number 5 is substituting bad habits with new positive habits. So this is another way to look at your list of goals, or look at things that you want to eliminate this year and no longer do. So it's far easier to modify a habit than to eliminate it. So if you identify what's been a bad habit last year, then think about what triggered this bad habit. So, and what can I do instead? So a great example is having a glass of wine at the end of the evening. So this is something I know a lot who do that, because it's basically the sign the day is over, you survived the day, it was a tough day, we were busy, and now finally it's time to relax. And this is your trigger, so you want to relax. And to relax, to make that easier, you pour yourself a glass of wine, and that's basically signaling your body, the day is over. Yeah, I'm treating myself to something nice. So that would be your trigger. So then, if that's you, it might be chocolates, might be something completely else. Then think about, so what could I do instead? What could I do instead of pouring a glass of wine? Maybe I'm just doing some grooming, whatever. Apply hand cream, make myself a nice cup of tea instead, just a special tea. Just think about something that is not a bad habit and replace it with a good habit. So you still have your trigger. The day's over. You're sitting down in front of the TV. You want to relax, but now you're doing something else instead. So you're replacing it. Same goes for, I actually have a lot of examples for this one. Same goes for like cookies at 4 p.m. in the office. So you have your afternoon slump, you're getting tired, and you just really need something sweet. And there's always a colleague who's offering something. Or you might have it in the drawer, which reminds us of setting up your environment for success. So don't have the cookies in your drawer. And then instead of accepting the cookies from your colleague, just go for a quick walk around the block. So that will just re-energize you, pumps the blood through your system, you get oxygen back into your head, and it's a far healthier habit. So that could be a good one. Or for example, you're someone who's watching Netflix until the early hours, not prioritizing sleep, just keep binge watching, but you want to have more sleep, then maybe decide you go to bed at 9 p.m. and get yourself a nice book. So you go to your local bookstore, Amazon or wherever, select something nice that you want to read, that you find interesting, and from now on, when the evening comes, you go to bed at 9 p.m. That was actually one of my habits, because I noticed that it's just so easy to just press Netflix on watching the next episode. And I've established that so much in the last year that my husband is now at 9 p.m. he's saying, oh, okay, you're going to bed now. He's always a little bit disappointed. But I stuck to it, and I'm feeling so much better since I've been doing that. And I'm no longer a slave to Netflix. If it's 9 p.m. and we're in the middle of an episode, we just stop it and we continue the next day. It's not going away. So this could be substituting a bad habit with a positive habit, which leads me to the last step. Don't keep it a secret. So tell everyone who wants to hear it or doesn't want to hear it about your plan of becoming a healthier version of yourself in 2022. Tell your partner, your flatmates, your best friends what your plans are, your colleagues at work, so that everyone knows this is what she is trying to achieve, and so that they can support you and can remind you of your goal. You can also join a group to be held accountable for your goals. For example, my group program is a great way to do that. So you have a supportive community who helps each other to stick to their goals. And just to show you how this works, I want you to look at your list that you hopefully created by now and share your number one resolution in the comments. So be very specific. So just say exactly what you want to do, when you want to do it, when you want to start, and put that in the comment so that you can be held accountable for that. So I'm going to do a quick recap of the 6 steps. So step number 1 was to review your list and prioritize. 2, create a rollout plan. 3, identify obstacles. 4, set up your environment to make it easier to create healthy habits. 5, substitute bad habits with new positive habits. And 6, don't keep it a secret. So this was obviously only a quick overview of how to get started, but I hope it was still helpful. If you want to go deeper on goal setting and learn how to develop the right mindset for change and be held accountable, take a look at my group programs. You're always invited to book a call with me to find out more. So, I've got a comment. Your life is quite choppy. Oh, this is not good. Okay, I'm sorry about that. If it's, I'm going to rewatch this. If it's too choppy, I might record it and then just post it as a video in the group. Sorry, Noreen, but thanks for joining. So next week, I will look at this and maybe I do the live from somewhere else where I have a better internet connection. Next week, I'm going to talk about how hormones impact your weight and can help you to lose weight. So thanks very much for everyone watching this, and talk to you and see you next week.